What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Jamz Live. I think we're on episode 16. Welcome, everyone. Been a little while since I did a stream, but I'm very excited. We are here with another stream. This is going to be the July stream, a couple days late. I've been streaming every month for this year. That was my goal, at least one stream a month. And July is the first month that I missed by a couple of days. Just got busy on that last weekend. So we're going to do 2 in August to make up for it. One early and then one in a couple of weeks. Yeah, so welcome everyone. How's everyone doing? Aiden, what's up? What's going on? I am doing well. Thank you for asking, my friend. I am going to start. Well, let me make sure we got some audio. Let me know you guys can hear me and everything. Sounds like we have audio. Glenn says, hey Reed, big fan from the UK. Welcome, Glenn. The Card Magician, welcome. How's everyone doing? Good to see you guys in here. Got a fun live today. As always, if you guys have any questions, you want anything answered, want me to go over anything at all, drop them in the chat. I'll get to every question at some point. I got a lot of exciting updates for you guys in this live, so we'll get to all of that while I let people start to trickle in. And then we can talk about maybe some tutorials, maybe learn a couple of things from some card magic, some old books or something fun like that. So make sure you guys stick around. We'll just have fun, do whatever you guys want to do. So let me start with a couple of the business. Mike, welcome. How you doing? Timmy, on which website can you upload pictures for your own photos for the app? WebFX. I believe you need the... Oop, our lighting, hold on. Our lighting looks a bit funny. Okay. I don't know if it's... I think it's just my screen. I don't think it actually just got dark for you guys. Anyway, yeah, I think it's the paid version of WebFX that you need. The free version, you can only use some of the images that come with it. Sorry, guys. Give me a sec. Yeah, so for the free version, you can only use some of the ones that come with it. WebFX is a great app by Mark Kirstein. I actually have like one of the official tutorials on my channel for it. Like if you buy the app, it'll link in the app to my tutorial that I made on it. Because I kind of use the app in a pretty neat way. So WebFX is a cool little app. Basically, you can have a prediction sort of thing on a website. It's actually free on iOS, and yeah, but I think if you want to use your own pictures, you need the paid version. Anyway, so let's get to a couple of the orders of business so we can get that all out of the way, and then we'll go from there. So first thing, as always, Q&A. If you guys want any of your questions answered, I see we have some coming in. I'll get to all of those questions. Just leave them in the chat. I like to start off by giving you guys an update for the ones who join on the upcoming videos on the channel. So today I dropped some call controls. So a bunch of different controls you can do with the call. Bottom control, top control, multi-card control, card to any position. So that's kind of a follow-up on my 2024 guide to the call that I did last week. Next week I'm going to be teaching kind of a part 2 of some more sandwich routines. These ones are a little bit more difficult, but they're really satisfying and a lot of fun. And it's kind of a part 2 on my tutorial from the Sleight Off episode, season 2, episode 2, that sandwich routine that I created. So I'll be teaching the rest of that. Then after that, I have a really, really exciting sort of modernized book test that I'm going to be teaching you guys. So it's a mentalism piece, and I call it the Any Web book test. It's basically a book test using anyone's phone, any website, no apps, that sort of thing. So really versatile, super practical, something that if someone asks to see something, you can just kind of anytime, anywhere, pull that up and you know, do the book test, and it's just a really strong piece of mentalism. You can use it to get into a one ahead. You can use it for predictions, readings, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be coming in a couple of weeks, my AnyWeb book test. And like I said, it uses no apps. And then I'll be teaching a little card effect I call the Perfect Dealer, which is sort of a just a simple, card trick that uses a fun little bit of sleight of hand that isn't used in a lot of tricks. It's something that I used to do a lot that's a lot of fun. And then I'll be teaching my spin, my handling on Out of This World, which I think you guys are going to love, because Out of This World is a killer effect. I've never taught it on the channel, and some of the subtleties and the way I handle it I think are really cool. So those are kind of the next couple of videos. For the summer, basically July and August, I decided to do a tutorial blitz, like a tutorial extravaganza sort of thing. So the last 4 or 5 videos and the next 4 videos are all going to be tutorials. So I'm just going to be doing tutorial. I put all the other series, How to Make Your Magic Better, Give Me a Breakdown, Mentalism 101, Dear Magicians, Behind the Screens, all those series I just put on pause, and we just did tutorials for the summer. So that'll go about till the end of August, and then assuming you guys want the other series to come back, then we'll get them back. So let me know if you guys missed some of those series, because I sure miss making them, and I think they're very important. But yeah, so that's what's coming in terms of new videos. I also, no, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna keep that a secret for now. Anyway, what else? Hey, welcome. We got a few new people in. Fred, what's going on? How's everyone doing? I see we got a couple of questions, so I will answer all of those questions. Let's see. What's the effect called where you have someone think of a song and it's on your phone? That is called Earworm. It is an app by Mark Kirstein for iOS only. My lighting keeps going out. There we go. Okay. And it's highly recommended. Great effect. Have you warmed up with Enigma yet? Warmed up with Enigma? I'm assuming you mean have I warmed up to Enigma, because I said in a previous live that I wasn't the biggest fan on, like there were some things that I really liked about it, but I continued to need more with Enigma. Honestly, Enigma has taken a little bit of a back seat at the moment. I haven't, I performed it a couple of times, had some success, had some not as much success. It is one of those things that you need to practice a lot and really work at, and so I just need to keep doing that, because it definitely has potential, but it's not something that you're going to pick up easily. So continuing to work on it, work in progress. I don't really think you'll be seeing any performances on the channel of that soon, but I definitely still have all the intentions to keep working on it. What's up? In a book with hundreds of tricks, how do you choose which ones to learn first? My advice is kind of to always try to get the most out of every book, every video, everything you have access to, because you never know. You could watch your 10th video on the double lift and learn something that is life-changing for you. So, I'll see videos from other creators or whatever that don't really spark my interest, but if I like them and their stuff, I'll try to watch it still, or at least, most of it, to get an idea of what's going on. So, and then, so when you have, same thing with a book, like at least read the effect section of every effect and scan over the methods, like if you want to just breeze through it. Ideally, you read it all. Well, 1, you paid for it, so get your money's worth, and 2, you never know what kind of hidden gems you're going to find within these books. Now, I think this is a good little segue into, I want to talk about a bit about my Mentalism membership. So if you've probably seen it, I have my Mentalism membership on the channel, something I started a couple of months ago, where I'm teaching a couple of videos every month extra, and I'm teaching every effect from Practical Mental Magic, as well as a bunch of bonus effects where I'm going to put some of my, best material, some of my more closely guarded mentalism secrets are going to kind of go up there. So you can join that at the membership tab, or it should be linked in the description. But I wanted to, take a quick moment. So the idea with that, right, it's kind of ties into what we were just talking about. Now, this book was written in the 60s or something, the 40s. I don't remember exactly when it was written. It was written a long time ago. And at the time, Might be the... Okay, so it says the reprint originally published in 1944, so the 40s. So a lot of things have obviously changed since the 40s. So this word practical is not all that applicable to this book anymore. So, you know, you might have this book and think, well, why would I join your membership when I can just buy the book and read the tricks myself? Well, if you read these tricks, there are some great tricks that work as they are, but most of them require updates, we don't have phone books anymore. We don't have big wooden chests. We don't have, like rotary phones. We don't have, like an example, he suggests where to buy billets. He suggests you go to the printing press and have them cut up pieces of paper for you for your billets. We have magic shops we can get billets. We have Amazon we can get billets from now. So, point being, the videos that I teach are not just me reading and teaching exactly as written. Most of the effects are very different than what's in the book, and I just try to use this as either inspiration for methods or for premises. So I try to always keep a touch of the same premise. There's a whole section in this book on talking to the dead, which I don't think is very relevant now, and I don't think anyone's going to want to do, but it used to be popular back then. So all of that section I've been modifying and sort of reworking the premises into more modern premises, as well as it gives you some of these classic methods, some of these staple methods, stuff that I wouldn't always use or wouldn't always talk about on the channel, but maybe it's perfect for you. Now, not every trick, there's going to be over 200 effects you're going to learn in this course. Not all of them, maybe only 10% of them you'll even consider performing, right? Because everything is totally performer dependent. It's very specific to you. And so that's really key to understand that it's about getting info, learning methods, continuing to build a base. And, you might always like the method, but you might like the premise. There's some really unique premises in this book that inspire some of the magic that I do. And then a lot of them, the methods are staple methods and stuff that maybe I wouldn't normally teach or normally talk about, but you can learn there. Once we go through this, you'll know everything there is to know, all the fundamentals of magic. So I just wanted to, point that out. It's very different than the tricks that are taught here. There'll be a lot of the stuff, I have to come up with all new methods and ideas on there. So I hope everyone who's been on the membership has been enjoying it. I know Mike is a member here, and he's had great things to say. So, yeah. Also, what else? Speaking of the membership, let me quickly jump over to that. So, where's my mouse? Okay. So the membership, so this is kind of what you get access to. You will get all these videos, there's new videos multiple times a month. And so we have our practical mental magic series and then bonus tutorials. So if you guys didn't see, I just put out one of my literally best effects, J30 ACAAN. It's kind of like a mentalism ACAAN. I put the performance on the channel, but you can go learn that right now. There's a 50-minute tutorial on the membership for my members, and you get discounts from time to time, all kinds of stuff. And then you see all these videos. There's like 20 tricks up here, right? So a lot of people are asking me like, oh, we need more mentalism, teach more mentalism and all that. And I am on the membership, right? There's new effects all the time, and so would highly recommend checking that out if you guys are interested. Yeah, so let me see if a couple of questions here. I don't know which website I can upload the photos so I can use them in the app. I think you have to use your own website. As far as I know, like you have to upload your own pictures and your own website, but I'm not totally positive. I've never used the pro version. My lighting is being a little bit weird today. Keeps like... Anyway, and so, yeah, but I'm not totally sure. Marvel Facts, hello from India, what's going on? Mike says, could you show us the effect of placing a force card in the middle of the deck, flashing the card, and it shows up on the top of the deck? I think it involves pushing 2 cards. Hope that makes sense. I will think about that, and when we go down to the card table, I can talk about that. And then, do you use acronym? I don't use acronym. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. If you guys don't know, acronym is like a newer mentalism effect. Kind of, I think it's an app or a website of some sort. I have not. I know the effect. I haven't used it. There are things I like. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. But I think it could be a really cool effect if used properly. But for me, right now, it's not something I've decided to pull the trigger on yet. What else? Okay, so I did want to talk a little bit about well, I'll say first, as always, if you guys are interested, I do private lessons, as I'm sure you guys know, linked in the description. There's a couple people in here I've done some lessons on. Always had a blast. Did a lesson this morning, a couple of lessons yesterday, so it's always a lot of fun if you guys are looking for any help, card magic, mentalism related, help with your shows, help with anything at all. One-on-one lessons obviously is the best way to do that. We can really take your stuff to the next level and really continue to, getting one-on-one help. It's like nothing else. When you do the call, I can specifically tell you what's wrong with your call. I do a lot of lessons on propless mentalism and the call and that stuff. So, you got to decide, see if it's worth it for you guys, because it's really enjoyable. Some of my favorite things to do, and really rewarding. So if you guys are interested, link in the description. And if any of you guys are interested in a group lesson, I haven't done one in a couple of months, considering doing another one soon. So if anyone in here is interested in a group lesson, let me know so I can get that organized. Do you have any ideas for digital force bag? Funny enough, I think Digital Force Bag is a great app, really, really useful, really fantastic, but I actually don't own it, and I actually don't use it. I have other apps, other ways of forcing anything I want, accomplishing things, my favorite of which being Inertia by Mark Kirstein, and so I use that more than I use DFB, so I've honestly just never pulled the trigger on it, though I think it is a really good app and well worth it. It's hard to say, do you have any ideas for it? Yes, there's endless ideas for it. Really, any prediction style effect you could do with DFB. I think you just have to make sure it's justified. Like, why are they picking something off a list and not just naming something? And so, if you can sort that out, you should be totally fine. So just, keep that in mind and go from there. Is How to Read Minds by Peter Turner worth it? I would say so. I have seen the How to Control Minds kit. I think that is really cool and well worth it. How to Read Minds, I think I... You know what? No, I didn't buy that one. Because they have like 3 kits now. I'm trying to remember. No, I didn't buy that one, but I've heard good things about the first kit. I think it's useful, particularly for fundamentals and that sort of thing in mentalism from what I've heard. Depends on your style though, guys. Like, you know me, my everyday carry, my style is billets. I accidentally, funny story, I ordered some billets on Amazon and they came brown, and I didn't bother returning them, but I use them in videos now because I would never perform with these. They're just, like, I don't know, it's such a just ugly color. Anyway, so I billets, deck of cards, Sharpie, and my phone. That's literally the only things I ever carry. Every trick I do can be done with those objects. So my mentalism is also very organic, and I try to keep it that way. And that's part of what I'm doing on the membership with a lot of the effects I'm teaching, where they might not be as practical nowadays. I try to modernize them for the most part to be able to be done with a billet and a deck of cards and a Sharpie and a phone, right? To suit my style, because I'm assuming if people are, on my membership, they're interested in the way that I teach. And so, I think honestly, there's so many different ways, so many different options with mentalism. But if you go buy a kit like that, you're going to get other props, right? You might get you'll get the billets and the cards, but you might get like I think they had like a spider gimmick in one of them. Like, that's just not for me, right? It's not my style. It's not the type of thing I would ever use. And so if you're the type who likes organic propolis or like very minimal billet work where it doesn't seem like the billet's involved, or phone magic, like that is what I would recommend. Like, that's the style I do. That's what I enjoy. So that's what you'll get in most of my videos, if not all of them. It can be done with those couple of props. At the end of the day, like, my channel is to teach my philosophy on magic and what I do. And so same thing with the membership, and same thing with all the effects I teach. Like, I could sit here and like teach you guys other effects that, just to try to get more clicks and all this, but like, I just teach stuff that I enjoy and that I actually perform or used to perform at some point. Most of my stuff is original in a sense, or there's an aspect of originality to it. There's very few tricks that I've taught that are things that I didn't come up with or be inspired with or change in a way. And that's just, the way that I choose to run the channel and handle things. So, do you believe in hypnosis? Yes, like, in the sense of, I don't think it's necessarily like real where like anyone can just be hypnotized. I think, but if you have the right person in the right conditions who's willing to believe, they can almost, it's like placebo effect kind of thing. They can almost convince themselves that it's real and happening, to the point where they honestly believe it's real, and they'll follow what you say, and everyone else will seem like it's real. Like, are you truly like gaining that control over their mind? No, probably not. But it's more of like in a placebo sense, but it's so well done, so realistic, that everyone involved kind of believes it. So it ends up basically being real anyway, if that explanation kind of makes sense. What's my favorite self-working card trick? I don't know. I don't do a whole lot of self-working stuff, to be honest. Trying to think what I do that's self-working. The only thing that comes to mind is that spectator cuts the aces kind of thing, but I definitely don't think it's the best, or it's not my favorite. Let's see if I can get back to you on that one, Timmy, because nothing's coming to mind. I just don't do a whole lot of self-working stuff. Depending on one's prediction style, it could work on Instagram. Just post before revealing. Yeah, any prediction. I love doing Instagram reveals. Like, at the end of the day, guys, mentalism is generally either a prediction or a reading, and the what enhances the effect and changes it is the reveal. So, Mentalism 101 episode... do we lose focus? Okay, Mentalism 101 episode 10, I think. The last episode of Mentalism 101 I put out was all about reveals. I went over like 10 or 12 different ways to reveal information. And so I would highly recommend you take a look at that. There are some incredible ways to reveal it. Like, the difference between me telling you what you're thinking, right? I do this example a lot. So imagine you're thinking of an elephant, right? And I say, okay, think of any animal for me. And you look at me and I say, elephant. Well, I'm not going to really get a good reaction from something like that. You need to build the anticipation to draw the best reactions from people. I mean, you guys have seen my street magic. You guys see what I do. I get generally pretty good reactions. And so I would recommend, you focus on the presentation side and drawing that out a little bit, especially when it comes to mentalism and the reveal. That's what's going to really help gain those reactions, because you're doing one of two things. You're either drawing out the anticipation, which are getting their expectations to rise, so when you hit that climax, there's a big reveal, or you're kind of drawing it out and doing the opposite, where you get them to think you're further away from it where you are, so then when you hit it, it kind of flips the script, and they go from a low to a high. And either of those things can elicit really powerful reactions. And so, revealing is really key. What do I think about the strike double lift? Yeah, the strike double lift is my go-to double lift. That's what I do all the time. So I just come, boom, and that's 2 cards, right? You can see. So I do that all the time. I'm using the second to none playing cards here by Wes Barker. So they're a spin-off of Chris Ramsey's first playing cards. They say second. They're pretty funny. I got them at one of his shows here in Toronto. He did a show. I went and got to see him for a bit, and we chatted, and I got a deck, so it's pretty awesome. It's a fun deck. I like it. It's funny. I like the story behind it. So yeah, strike double lift is my go-to. Would definitely recommend. I mean, you know, you could do your pinky count, get your break. You could do your lift up at the back, whatever. I don't think it's the end of the world, but the freedom to be able to come here and pull up on 2 cards every time, it's key. So I think my first video ever on the channel, I did have like an intro video, but the first tutorial ever, and now it's the first video because I got rid of that intro. It was very cringy. But the first video ever was on the double lift, and I teach the strike double. And as terrible as I am on camera in that video, and the quality of the shooting is, and my bed sheet background, it's a great video, and it actually has a lot of useful information on the strike double lift. So I'd recommend you go check that out. Which is your favorite impromptu ACAAN? Great segue. So I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about J30 ACAAN. So let me switch back to Safari. Okay, so this is a little trippy. Okay, so on the channel, I recently put out. So this is what you see if you're members, by the way. So you see all these extra members only videos, all these extra ones that are put out. So, you know, a couple extra videos every month. Anyway, why is my camera, I feel like it's off to the side. Anyway, maybe, hold on, let me see something. Yeah, it is off to the side. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, let me fix this, guys. There we go. I forgot to fix this before the stream. Well, I didn't even realize. Okay, camera's fixed. I was wondering why that camera looked off to me. Anyway, okay, so what I want to say. So last week I put out my J30 ACAAN tutorial. So this is, you know, my favorite ACAAN, the ACAAN. It's not only my favorite ACAAN, it's literally my favorite trick. And, you know, I know a lot of the titles and stuff on the channel, you know, you're trying to get people to click. Totally understand. You know, and I'm sure you guys realize that. But when I say, you know, learn the best magic trick I know, like, I am serious with this. And some people might see the performance and be like, well, why? Like, it's just this, or it's just... At the end of the day, go watch the tutorial. There's a lot more to it than what you see in the performance. But it's the ultimate ACAAN, right? When you know, and if you've seen the performance, you can go check it out. So I put a performance on the channel, so you can actually see the performance, and then the full tutorial is on the membership. But it is something that the card is literally, or sorry, the number is literally never said out loud. Okay, let me go to my community page because I kind of broke this down a bit. You know, it's perfect for me because I'm a card magician and mentalist. So whether you do card magic or mentalism, this is kind of the perfect thing. Like it is absolutely killer. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Mike says the J30 is super awesome, worth the price of the membership. Much appreciated. Yeah. So it you know, it's perfect for mentalists because it's got a very mental aspect. The card is all verbally, you know, created. The number is truly just thought of. It's completely impromptu, regular deck, no sleight of hand. You know, there's no stooging. So I had someone ask if it's a stooge. There's no stooging. And the best part is there's the opportunity for so many customizable endings, so many kicker endings because of the method and the fact that you kind of know the results, right? So I do a tattoo reveal where I reveal the card and the number were predicted as a tattoo. You could do it Instagram reveal, you could do billet reveal, you could do you know, invisible ink reveal, you could do text reveal, anything you want. And it kind of, not only is the ACAAN feel so fair because it feels like shuffle deck, spectators holding the deck the entire time. Someone thinks of a number, and then together as a group we create a card, and then they don't even have to say the number out loud. I usually have them say it, but they deal down to that number, and when they get to that number, they'll find the card. So that's, you know, moment number one. It's just like a really strong any card, any number. And then you get this kicker where this whole time you kind of knew, you kind of predicted it. Glenn says, do you use a stack? I don't know if you're talking about this effect or just in general. In either case, no. I don't use a stack in general. This effect is completely no stack. Anyway, so there, you know, you can go check that out on the membership if you'd like to learn it. I did want to mention, so I just filmed a bunch of street magic that you guys will be getting in the next month or so. So you'll see that at some point. I am planning to put that out as another teaser, but it's kind of just another option you can do with that ACAAN. Anyway, I wanted to mention that. And while I'm on the topic of that, street magic, so yeah, I just want to let you guys know, like, I went out the last couple of weekends, filmed a bunch of street magic around here, downtown Toronto, and that was awesome. We had a really great shoot, so there'll be a lot of magic coming out for you guys, and a lot of exciting street magic, and it's always a blast doing street magic, and I absolutely love it. So I can't wait for you guys to see some of that. I got like a whole bunch of new videos and footage and that sort of thing. What else do we got? Do you often perform magic only by hands? What do you mean only by hands? Yes, I use my hands in all of my magic tricks, if that's what you're getting at. Not too sure though what you mean totally by that. How many props did you buy? I don't think that's asking to me. Jonathan Kema does a nice strike double. Do you got any ideas about Jonathan Street Magician? Is that like JS Magic? I think his name is Jonathan. I'm assuming that's him. Do I have any ideas? I mean, he's great. He's fantastic. I would highly recommend you guys, you know, check out his stuff. He's kind of the OG of the street magic on YouTube. So he's really great, really awesome. Okay, what else do we have? Magic Live, I think, is happening right now, actually. I think it's like Sunday to Wednesday or something like that. So did anyone go to that? I didn't go, but you know, if anyone went, I hope you guys enjoy. I had some, in this new street magic shoot, I had a lot of great performances, some brand new effects, some really, really fun, strong magic with great reactions and a whole bunch of new stuff. So I think that's going to be super exciting. What else? Okay, I'm going to go down to the card table in a minute. We'll do some tutorials. If you guys have any questions, keep leaving them in the chat and we'll go from there. I have been experimenting a bit with like a new video format, kind of trying to bring the quality up of the videos a little bit, spending a bit more time editing, a bit more time on thumbnails, kind of changing it up a bit. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying that. It's been fun. It's been fun putting a bit more time into some of the videos. So hopefully you guys, a couple of people have noticed, so I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Anyway, let's jump down to the card table. Do you do guessing the zodiac signs using outs? What do you mean by outs? I don't do any, like, when I do my star sign, there's no out. I know what sign they are when I guess it, right? There's a propless version that I do. It's completely propless, but it's not an out. I know exactly what sign they are by the end. And there's a couple other methods I use. You'll actually see some pretty direct, really neat star sign guesses, as well as a birthday guess. Little secret coming up in some of those new street magic videos. I think hand magic is related to cards versus propless. Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's kind of a different sector, right? If we're talking cards versus propless, I think that the key is to use Propolis sparingly, right? So many people are very much intrigued by the idea of Propolis, but don't understand the realities of it. The realities are, it is very hard to practice, it is not easy, and it's not surefire. So it's not, there are very few, if any, magicians who can, or who do, go around doing Propolis effects all the time. There's two problems though. You'll see Propolis effects from people like myself and other people. You'll see one clip of it, or you'll see a video, and you'll feel like, oh, it's perfect. How did he do that? What's the method? Not realizing all the work, all the time, and all the attempts it might have taken, or all the different way that the effect went, right, per se. So ultimately, like, the answer with Propolis is to use it sparingly, use it as like the cherry on top, use it to enhance your billet work, use it to enhance your other mentalism, and take things to the next level. I had a story from one of my private lesson clients, and he was doing a drawing duplication using an impression pad. So if you're familiar with an impression pad, you can, it was actually an electronic one, so when they draw whatever they draw, there's like this gimmicked booklet, and it'll transmit what they drew to his phone. And he did it, and he made the mistake, and we talked about this after in the lesson because it's kind of the two perfect principle, but he made the mistake of copying exactly the drawing, right? Drawing it exactly how the person had drawn it. So they drew a smiley face, but he drew it exactly the same way. Two straight lines as eyes with the mouth. And he told me he was worried, and he was like really trying to make it perfect. And I said, it's going to be a hit no matter how you draw that smiley face. And so you don't need to focus on that, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the two perfect principle. And there's going to be no other explanation besides something with the pad or somehow he saw it. And that's exactly what happened. The spectator started knocking on his impression pad and saying, is there something special with this pad? So he quickly took the pad away, and we had been working a lot on a Propolis drawing duplication, a Propolis drawing guess, where you can guess someone's drawing totally Propolisly. And so he had the wherewithal to go into that and say, no, I don't even need the pad. Watch, we'll do it this way. And he did it, and he nailed it, and it was a perfect hit. And now he's not only had an incredible closer, but he's strengthened that first effect by, by doing the Propolis piece. And that's where it should be best used. Do you use Equivoque? I use Equivoque all the time. It's one of the most powerful tools when used right. Now, it's not the easiest thing to use right. There's a lot of important things. I have a whole bunch of videos on Equivoque. I have an Equivoque masterclass video. I have how to force any playing card with Equivoque. The key is, there's a couple of keys. You need to make sure that there's no repetition, because when there's repetition, then the audience can start to recognize the difference in the outs, right? That this could have been this way or this way. If you do the same type of question, if you tell them to plate, imagine we have the red and the blacks and I place one on the table, which one do you place? Well, that's fine one time, because if they place it down, you can go with that one. Or if they place down the one you don't want, then it's the one they're left holding, that's fine. But then if you do it again and they pick the opposite, and now you do the opposite of what you did last time, it completely gives it away. So you can't have any repeats. 2, you need logical premises that are followed up with logical conclusions. So in that example, the logical premise is you're holding this black and red card, and you set one down on the table. That's fairly logical. Now, what's the logical conclusion in either way? Well, if we set it down on the table, they're going to say the one out loud that they set down. Because they've said it out loud, it makes sense that we would go with that one. So if they say, if we're trying to force the red card, and they say, okay, and you say, well, what card do you set down on the table? And they say the red one. You say, okay, perfect, we'll go with that. That's a great choice, right? Now, if they say the one you don't want, you need another logical conclusion. You can't have a conclusion that doesn't make a lot of sense. So what I might say is, okay, so which one do you set down? They say the black one, and I say, okay, so that, and then I'll say, okay, so now you're left holding the, and I'll let them say red, right? So how it would look. So which one do you set down? They'll say the black one, and you say, okay, and that leaves you holding, and you let them fill in the saying red. Because think about it psychologically. If I go and I say, and that leaves you holding the red card. Well, now it's fine, it's good. It makes sense. It's the one they're left holding. That's a logical conclusion, the one that's left in their hand. So either way, you have a logical conclusion. But if I say it later on when I try to recap and say, you made all the decisions, you said the color, whatever you wanted. Well, now they'll think, well, the color I said, the last thing out of my mouth was black. So instead, I'll do, they'll say, okay, I'll say, which one do you set down on the table? They'll say black. I'll say, okay, perfect. And that leaves you holding the, and then they will say red. And now later on, I can say, okay, perfect. You said the color red, you said this, and it kind of helps tie it up a little bit. So a lot of thoughts on Equivoque. I think it is amazing when used properly. I use it all the time. One of my favorite effects is just to place a card in the spectator's hand, pretend like no one knows what it is, and force with Equivoque down to it. But it's not, the way that a lot of people do Equivoque, just, name one. Okay, let's get rid of it. Narrow this down. Let's get rid of this, or I don't want that. Or so that leaves us with, none of those lines you'll find in my Equivoque script. It's very much, very much well constructed, and I've taught that on the channel. But also the other key thing that I do well with Equivoque is always have a follow-up. So if we're using the the set on the table, the red cards and the black cards, so the second I've followed up with a logical conclusion, we'll segue into the next step with sort of a next logical line, and it kind of gets that moment of Equivoque just in and out of their brain. So if I say, okay, and I set one on the table, which one do you set down? And they say red. I say, okay, perfect. So we'll take those red cards and we'll spread them in. I'm going to spread them in my hands and hand them to you. So now I've just taken the moment of Equivoque and moved right past it with this beautiful, I'll pick up the cards, spread them, and hand them to you, right? All these little things are really important when you're doing Equivoque. Any books or resources where I can learn and gain insights on cold reading? Peter Turner has a booklet on cold reading that's pretty solid. I think it's just called, he did like a Mentalism volume series. I don't remember where or what that one's called. Let me see if I can find it for you quick. But my lighting is so weird today. I don't know if it's the... Well, let me try this. Bring the background lights down a bit. See if we can get... I don't know why my lighting keeps flickering. It's weird. Anyway, the problem with I have this beautiful huge window and a bunch of natural light with the sun. It's great. Not good for filming when it's at your back, but my setup doesn't really work well with putting this window at the back, so or at the back of the camera. Anyway, so you asked about that. Let me see if I can find that for you. What was it called? What was it called? Peter Turner's Masterclass. Okay, so I believe it's volume 2 from his Mentalism. He did a Masterclass volume series. I believe volume 2 is on readings, and there's some good cold reading in there. I believe Banachek has some decent stuff on cold reading as well. But I'm not much of a cold reader, and all the techniques I've developed for cold reading are kind of my own, and stuff that I will be talking about on my Mentalism membership in some upcoming videos. I have one ahead masterclass coming soon to the membership, so stay tuned. Any trick that you got in the beginning but stopped using later in life? Definitely. I mean, there's a good portion of tricks that you learn, you love, you fall in love with right away, and then as you continue to perform and work with them, you realize that they're not that practical, or they're just not your style, or whatever it is, and you kind of don't do them again. And I have a massive list of tricks that I never do anymore, and there are tons of tricks that just get put in the, it doesn't suit me, right? I'm always trying to improve. So if I know a triumph and I learn a better triumph, like my triumph that I do with the cull, well, how are you gonna get any better than that, right? How are you gonna top that? And ultimately, I'm gonna switch out the better Triumph for the one that's not quite as good, right? Hey bro, how are you? Do you do magic for a living? No, this is not my main source of income, I guess would be the answer there. I'm a structural engineer, so that's my day job. I basically design the structural systems for large high-rise buildings. We do some long-term care homes, but mainly large high-rise condos and that sort of thing. I do this as a side job, and because it's my passion, I really enjoy it. I mean, I could do magic full time. I could probably take the time, put the work in, do more gigs than I do, and spend more time on this and other stuff. But I love it. I love the position I'm in now. I love it as a side venture. I love it never feels like a job this way. It's always fun, and you know, I'm just happy that I have an outlet that I can continue to live this passion and express it, and help out people, but it'll never feel like I have to do this to make money or that sort of situation. And I'm not saying like that's off the table, like maybe one day I wouldn't go full time, but right now I'm like really happy with the way everything's set up. Peter Turner's Freeform Mentalism is packed with simple effects. I actually have not seen that, so I have to take a look at that. Who are your inspirations? Early on, when I was into card magic, like exclusively, Madison was a big inspiration, and Danny Dougherty's. And David Blaine, and I think I took a lot of inspiration, and I think my style is most similar to Blaine, right? Kind of street, sort of organic, kind of mysterious, kind of cool magic style, right? The way I handle cards is has elements of Madison with some of the more advanced sleights and palming, but I don't do a ton of palming anymore, in at least in live performance. And then the way that I like to handle and freely, be with the deck, and probably part of the reason that I'm a purist who doesn't really use gimmicks is because of Danny Dougherty's, that is, and being able to be so free with the cards. And so I pull inspiration from a lot of those guys. Mentalism side, Pete Turner for sure, Animan definitely. Who else is an inspiration of mine? Oh, and Fedon Bilic. I love Fedon and his work on Propolis or his minimalist approach. I love Pete's mind. I love the way Pete thinks and scripts things. I try to take some from him in that, and then Animan just the kind of the fundamentals. Animan is where I built the base to be able to do what I do now, and like I said, a lot of Animan's stuff I don't really use in the way that he does. But whenever I need inspiration for a plot, I'll pop open this book and I'll find something unique that will inspire me, right? And that's what the whole idea of the mentalism course is. It's to inspire people and to help people build their fundamentals, to help me there's basically three goals. To help people get the fundamentals of mentalism down, because a lot of people don't read the books or don't know the fundamentals, and there's a lot of fundamentals in mentalism. The second goal is to modernize the book, Practical Mental Magic, because it's a great book, but it needs to be modernized, the plots, the methods, and so that's what I've done. Like I said before, none of the effects in there really end up being how they were originally taught on the membership, but I end up, really making them my own, or changing them, or just making them better. And the last goal would be to what was it? To inspire people with new ideas, new premises, or new methods. Just you take something from this video and that video and that video and create something incredible. Basically constructs magic routines. How to balance work with magic. Yeah, it's not always easy. I have a pretty busy life. There's a lot of things that I try to do and get done. And running this channel completely by myself. So, to give you guys an idea, I've come up with a lot of ways to make things more efficient with the channel. But for example, let's say, so now I'll talk to you about my process now to give you a sense. So, you work 9 to 5, let's say. The key for me, and this is the way I go about it, I know I need to put out a video every Sunday, and that's what I try to do. So, Friday comes around, I might try to go out and shoot some street magic on a Friday night. If a couple of times I'll try to do that. Then, Saturday, most of the day will be spent doing lessons in the morning, and then working on maybe some filming or some video ideas. So what I usually do is come up with video ideas. So I got to think of the ideas, what I'm going to teach. And I try to come up with 8 video ideas at a time. Then I got to write the scripts. Now the scripts are pretty loose, but I like to come up with at least bullet point form of what I'm going to talk about. And then once I write the scripts, then I got to do all the filming. So it usually takes me one weekend. So like a Saturday and a Sunday for a few hours each day, and I will film all of those videos, so all 8 videos, whatever they are. And then I'll have all that footage, and then I'll spend another little while shooting, just getting ideas for the thumbnails and just shooting me holding the cards in different ways. So I can knock all that out in a weekend, and I do that once every couple of months because 8 videos is 8 weeks. Right, because I post one every Sunday. So once I do that, then it just comes down to editing. And so editing in the during the week, I edit the videos kind of as like in the evenings after work. So if I have a video for Sunday, it usually will take me 2-3 hours to edit it. And I'll do that, try to do that one night or over 2 nights, break it up a bit, and then I'll work on the thumbnail, which is like another 30 minutes to an hour. Do all the description and all that, get it ready, and then throughout that I gotta, get the shorts ready, do all that. It's very much trying to automate a lot of that process or make it as quick as possible, because I'm a one man show. I do all of that myself, and the key is just a schedule. Have a schedule, stick to it, be dedicated, and try to plan out your time. I think that's key. How to approach a group without a cameraman. I think why they let me practice on them. So first thing, why can't you have a cameraman? They don't even have to be filming. Get a phone and get your friend and pretend. First thing, having a cameraman takes your credibility up, instantly. And they don't know if you have 1 million subscribers or 10 subscribers or not even a YouTube channel, right? Even just saying I'm filming for YouTube, it automatically, people are more willing to give you their time. So here's the key though. If you don't have a cameraman, you can't get a friend, just say, look guys, I'm a magician, I am working on something, do you want to see something? That's probably the line I would go with. Very, unassuming, easy. And you have to think of it this way. When you approach a group, at the beginning of that interaction, you are the one asking for something, okay? You owe them something because you're asking for something. So they're giving you their time, you owe them something. That's why your opener is so important, to establish your credibility, build that rapport, and basically repay them for their time in the form of entertainment. Now, if that opener goes well and they enjoy it and they give you a good reaction, that dynamic flips instantly. Once you do that opener and establish your credibility as a performer, I'm not just someone's uncle who learned a card trick. I'm actually good. I know what I'm doing. At that moment, you flip the script and now they owe you something. You're giving them something that they want ultimately. all these Apple effects. Anyway, um, you're giving them something that they want, and now they owe you something, and they're going to give you their time. That's what they're going to pay you with. So once you flip that dynamic, you can do whatever you want with them. So just have a snappy opener. There's a couple important things with the openers. Don't make it too long. Make it hard hitting, and make it something simple so you're not too nervous, and you can, you know, be sure that it'll go well. How do you get more gigs? It's such a broad question. It really depends. I think as a starter, start building your social media presence. You know, whether you're going out and filming street magic or just magic to the camera, start posting, start building a bit of a credibility so that people, again, it's all about social proof these days. You got to have something online to show that you're legit, and, you know, something that you can give people, and then, you know, word of mouth, start offering to do some of your friends' parties for free. Then you can, you know, hopefully start doing a few little paid things. If you want to do restaurants, go talk to some restaurant managers. You know, and but if you really want like serious leads coming in, you're going to need to put in the work, build a social media presence, build a website, business cards, give those out, have show reels and performance reels of you, you know, you performing and that sort of thing. The ACAAN book, Mental Effects, and Mental Effects are different books, or are they the same? Mental Effects and Magic Effect. I mean, I'm not totally sure on the question. Mentally Effects. Anyway, Practical Mental Magic is the name of the book. So it kind of combines both practical mental. There's an I think I know what you're asking here. Let me find it for you. So ACAAN had a book called Practical Mental Effects, which Practical Mental Magic is like a compilation book of ACAAN books. So I believe this compiles those two books that you're talking about, and so you'll find a lot of that material again in here. How to structure your magic. So structuring magic is super important. If I'm going to do a gig or like if I'm doing a gig, it's generally like 2 or 3 to 4 trick routines that I'm just going to repeat at each table with some of my bread and butter. If I'm doing street magic, well then I'm going to do a lot more tricks because I'm trying to get stuff for video and I have different ideas and I'm trying to make the best video. Same thing, I'll write down all the tricks I want to do, I'll structure them into 3 or 4 phase routines, and then I'll know when I go up to a group, these are the 3 tricks I'm going to do. Now, here's what I would say. Your best effects have to go at the end. The stuff that you know 100% is going to get a good reaction no matter who you do it on, the stuff that's really strong. Generally, for me, it's mentalism. And I mean, it's mentalism pieces. It's wiki test. It's earworm. It's stuff like that. Then, you know, you cannot do a crazy piece of mentalism and then go do a simple transpo double lift. It's gonna hinder your routine as a whole. You generally want to end off at the peak, right? And so you need to structure it kind of like this, or like that is okay. So your first effect should be, the main thing is that it should be fairly snappy and something you're comfortable with to establish your credibility. But the better of an effect, the better reactions it'll get, the more credibility you'll get, and the more people are willing to listen to you and give you their time. So it's important that it's a strong effect as well. So I do stuff like 2-card Monty, on shuffling the colors, my open call Triumph, the transposition. I do stuff like that as openers generally because it's quick, hard hitting, easy to understand, and I'm very comfortable with them. Sometimes, you know, you gotta shake the rust off, so it's good to do something you're really comfortable with. And then in the middle is where you put either new stuff, propless stuff, or stuff that you're not 100% with, right? So brand new things that you are working on, so they might not go according to plan, so then you can save it, right? You can save it later, right? with your third effect, sorry. And then you also have the opportunity to, you know, sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Okay, so then it also affects the like propless stuff, not as surefire, and then things that you're less confident with or new things. And the main reason is so that if something goes wrong, you can save it with the third effect, or just kind of, you know, make sure it's not the end of the world if the middle. So that's why I say sometimes you have a good, come down a little bit, and then finish with the peak, or just a nice build to the end. Those are the two ways you should think about structuring your routines. Does performing on Omegle/online a lot deteriorate the quality as you can get away with mistakes easily? I wouldn't say so at all. I mean, I think what you're saying is that you can make mistakes and get away with it. Well, you should be holding yourself accountable. If you make a mistake, you shouldn't be happy, right? You should critically look within and say, oh, I need to be better. I need to change that. I got to do that better. I need to be better, right? You have to look internally and try to solve that problem. You know, super important that you do that. So it's very important in a lot of ways that you think about your own performances critically always. You know, I just shot Street Magic last Friday, and I spent a few hours thinking about every performance, watching back the footage, seeing what I could have done better, what I would change, and continuously making you a better performer. So anytime you're performing, it should enhance your magic, because if it doesn't go well, you can reflect and learn. If it does, builds confidence and that sort of thing. Did you teach the Herman Pass? Yes, I do have a video on the Herman Pass. You can go check that out under the controls, card control playlist. I believe it should be under there. Do your performances from Canada and your time at Hilton Head get different reactions based on demographic, or is it all the same? Demographic absolutely plays a factor in terms of reactions. Age is a huge factor in terms of the types of people that are willing to be, that are comfortable on the camera. A huge thing is comfortability with the camera. The camera can have two positive results and negative results. Some people can be shy and become timid by the camera. Some people give you more because it's on camera. And then some people, it just doesn't make a difference. And younger people tends to not make as much of a difference. Younger people tend to have more energy. I can relate and communicate better with young people. So that's why a lot of when I see groups, I'm also downtown at the club scenes and that sort of thing a lot of the times when I'm filming, you know, at least around Toronto. So it's going to be younger people, right? But it's also a bit of a strategic choice in terms of the types of performances I want to make the best videos possible. Because when I go out, I'm thinking about the best video, not necessarily just like entertaining whoever I have to, right? You know, different, even like race is a real thing too, that, you know, different people are more raised differently. You know, where you're from or that sort of thing can play into the comfortability on camera, how open you are to being filmed and reacting and all that sort of thing. It all comes down to how comfortable they are and then how they are, their personality, right? What they're willing to express. The difference between Hilton Head and here, Hilton Head, there was a lot more like old people. Like I went for like 3 hours one day to this like harbor point to try to find some people, and I didn't find a single person that I was interested in doing magic on, because it was just like all old people, like white hair, like everywhere. And man, I was just like looking for people. I walked for like 3 hours, didn't find a single group. Went to another spot, couldn't find anyone. It was just, you know, it's a retiree oasis over there, right? And then finally I realized like near the beach there would be some better demographics, and that's when I was able to finally find some people. So you know, you can always perform good magic, but the reactions are going to be slightly different depending on age, race, where they're from, demographics, and all kinds of these things, gender, like all these things are gonna, you know, girls are generally a bit more camera shy. Guys don't really care as much, right? So you'll get different reactions in that way. Do you try to get a footage with audience that you have some sort of language barrier with? That's actually interesting. You know, in Toronto, that's something that I've never had to deal with much before in other areas, but in Toronto, it's a big thing. We have like a very, very diverse populace here, and I think something like, I don't know if this is still true now, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think something like 70% of the immigration in Canada come to Toronto or Vancouver, or it's something around that percentage. So there we have like a mass, you know, and it's all very, you know, it's huge, like for all over. There's a ton of different people, and so when I was filming some of the first times in Toronto, I went around. I realized like some of these people, like I actually just I won't be able to do the stuff for, and it's sometimes they can't speak English, but other times they can, but it's just not as clear. And sometimes when I'm doing psychological forces or things that the linguistics really matter, propless stuff, it's a lot more tricky, right? Some of the psychological forces and stuff. So if I, you know, run into groups that I don't think that kind of stuff is going to be good for, well then I will do other stuff that the language doesn't really matter, right? Visual stuff, card magic, or, you know, things like that. I'll avoid more of the mentalism stuff generally. What's your approach to practicing tricks? Honestly, I don't practice probably as much as I should these days. I think I'm just so comfortable with the moves and performing that it gets to a point where you're kind of like, I can read something and just go perform it without really having to try it much. I can create an effect in my head and just kind of go wing it out on the street and get the first performance of it, and then tweak it from there, because I'm just comfortable. I know what's going to work. I know what's not. I know what I can get away with. I know what I can't, you know. Sometimes that's why it's like, oh, you try to do an old trick that I haven't done in a while, and it's just like rusty, and it's like, what do you do again? Because you don't practice it as much as I should. The bread and butter is always there, the stuff that I do at gigs and I do all the time, but some of the less stuff I don't do as much. Sometimes it's tricky. Max Maven Prism book, do you think it's good for mentalists? I actually haven't read Prism on the list, but I have not read it yet. Okay, let me jump down to the card table. I want to see really quick. I think I can fix. I was trying to show you guys something earlier, and I think I have a solution. Let me try one thing. Just give me a few seconds. If I do this, so I wanted to show you guys basically a sort of updated performance. There we go. Okay. Let me just... Okay, can you guys see this? Hopefully you can. Let me know if you guys can see this here. So this is basically from a street magic performance that I did recently, very, very recently. And I wanted to show you, so this is my J30 ACAAN effect, an effect that I recently taught on the channel. And I, you know, one of the things I said is that it's super, super customizable. And I wanted to show you guys, like, I took it in a completely different way, and I wanted to show you just the reactions that you can get with this ACAAN, and how really powerful it can be, because it's really, really strong. And this is just another idea. There's like literally endless combinations of ways you can customize this. Anyway, if you'd like to learn this, I'm just going to show you sort of the ending and the reaction. You'll see the full performance of this soon on the channel, but I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. So hopefully you can hear this, and let's watch it. Okay.
With the jack. Now think about that. You guys made every single decision all the way along. And you have a number in mind. You've never said it out loud. He's been holding onto that deck of cards the whole time. What's the number you're just thinking of for the first? 30. I want you to deal face down 30 cards into my hand. Just deal them face down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Stop at 29 for me. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Now wait. That is number 30. And you said what card was it?
Jack of diamonds?
Jack of hearts. Jack of hearts. Jack of hearts. Flip it over.
No.
There's no fucking
Flip it over.
bullshit.
No way! Tabarnak!
But guys, the interesting thing is, hold on to that. The interesting thing is, sometimes I said, you know, perfect coincidences and perfect things come together and create really powerful moments. And you guys being here, me seeing you, me stopping you guys is maybe a lot more powerful than you realize. You might be thinking, well, it's just a card, it's just a number. But it's actually the only card and the only number that you could have said. Flip the deck over. Spread through them.
Yeah.
No way!
It's actually that's the only card in the entire deck.
Yo, Ben, c'est quoi, Ben? Hey, sont les cartes, tabarnak? Non! What? No!
Not only that.
Il y avait des trucs. Il est sûr.
Lui, il est fucked up, là. Ah, you're good, you're good.
Magicien, là, c'est tout.
C'est pas moi? I'm not doing anything!
Not only that, about a year ago, I had a feeling, and I was walking down a street in Ottawa, and they have all these tattoo shops. I have a couple of tattoos on them, and I was just walking through, and like, there, I got a feeling, and I walked in, and I got a tattoo. And honestly, I never knew what it meant until this very moment. It's starting to make a bit of sense to me. Come in, come get this. Look, guys. No. Right here.
No!
Wait.
What? Oh my god! Ça se peut pas!
Wow, thank you, boy.
Anyway, that is what I wanted to share with you guys. So just sort of a another way that you can take this effect, because the one of the things with this trick is it's just so like I can't, you know, this is just one option. It is such a customizable trick. So I hope you guys like that. That's just like a little sneak peek. I'll be putting that full performance out at some point soon. But yeah, guys, it's so killer. Like, that's just another little idea. Just a small idea. Sorry, I keep hitting this with my chair. There's a ton of ideas you can do. I know not all of you have, I know most of you are not going to get this tattoo, and that's not at all the tutorial. I don't say, so for this, you'll need a regular deck and to go to your nearest tattoo shopping. No, that's just an option. You know, but I had done it in this way, and it absolutely killed, and there's so many different options. So that ACAAN is available to learn right now on my Mentalism membership if you'd like to check that out. So let's take a jump down to wrap up here to the card table. I just wanted to talk about any you know, card things you would like me to go over. Now is the time. So let me just get that set. Okay. Exactly, yeah. They think it's over when it just started. Exactly, 100%. So there's a few things. Let's see. A few questions here. What do you think about the future of magic, especially with the world heading towards AI technology? Would everyday tricks be able to perform today work at that time? It really depends on the trick. I mean, I think some tricks, yeah, could be totally fine. I think AI will just help enhance it. There's already some AI effects, AI apps that I've actually used, and you'll see some of those performances coming up, and they work super well. They're, you know, they're great, and the possibilities I think are just endless. I think it's only going to help for the most part. Do you use a straddle pass here and there in real life, or is there no? Oh no, I use a straddle pass all the time. So I'll do this. I'll take a card and I'll push it down. There you go, boys. That's what happens, and girls, when you have a brand new deck of cards that you are trying to use for a live stream that's not broken in. Okay, here's the broken in deck. So, 6 of spades, we'll take that and we'll leave that somewhere. Nope. Okay, third time's a charm. We'll take the 3 of clubs and we'll leave it somewhere in the middle of the deck. There we go. And it's on the bottom. So I use that straddle pass all the time. 7 of hearts. It is one of my favorite controls because it allows me to take a card, have it signed, and then I could take it back. And I mean, it's just so free, so fair. Like, it just looks like it goes in and goes to the bottom. And then the Ace of Clubs. Yeah, those cards are just going to stay on the floor. That's fine. I should be using the bicycle deck for this anyway. You know, I like to pull out the fancy decks for the live, but then they're not broken in because they just sit over there on the shelf. And then, they're just so slippery. Don't perform with a non-broken deck. That would be my recommendation. Anyway, so yeah, what was I talking about? Straddle Pass. So I love the Straddle Pass. I think I have a tutorial on it. Let's see if I can hit just for fun. This is tricky. This I do as well, but not as often because there's not as many uses for it. But the multi-card Straddle Pass. So 4 kings, 4 different spots. Push those into the middle of the deck, and oh yeah. So yeah, I do use the Straddle Pass. I've been doing Magic for about a year and just realized the Top Shot effect can be done with the simple throw of the top card using the thumb. Pushing off the top card. Why do we make it harder? Like that maybe? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure. That's what I interpret. Done with a simple throw of the top card. Oh yeah, okay, actually that does work, I see. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's just another way of doing it. I don't really do the Top Shot though. Let's see if I can hit one. Nope. I just one thing I can't do. I'm just no good at it. Yeah, it always gets stuck for me. Let's try one more. Okay, there we go, a little bit. Anyway, nowhere near accurate, but anyway. Yeah, I don't really do the Top Shot. Is that to honor Leonard Green? Sorry, who are we? What is what to honor Leonard Green? You'll have to specify. Can you show you're working on the center deal? Oh, I don't really do a center deal. I never really practice at all. I mean, I kind of know how to do it. Let's see. So 4 kings. I can do a pseudo center deal, but let's see. Let's see. This is going to probably go very bad, and I shouldn't try this on live, but we'll try. Ugh, come on. Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. Oh, no, I lost it already. Yeah, I don't really do the center deal at all. I mean, I think I saw Madison's masterclass on it way, way back. So I kind of know the method a little bit. Well, the method that he at least used, but I've never practiced it. So, you know, it's kind of going to be tricky, but it's like similar to a bottom deal. So get them all at once. There you go. No, let me try one more time. I mean, it's a fun, knacky thing to practice, but like totally not usable, you know. Oh, I thought I had it. Thought that was a king, but but it's because I grabbed 3. Okay, now I'm kind of itching to get it right because I feel like we're close. Let me try one more here. Okay, king's in the middle, not on top. Oh, that felt good, but it slipped. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what so the middle bottom deal is essentially what you do. Whew! Okay, boys, that looked good. That looked not too bad, actually. So yeah, the middle, that's basically what you do for a center deal, at least the method that I had learned. You kind of basically do a bottom deal, but you have the packet off-centered, and you kind of square it up on the top, and it's just kind of a messy packet, and you can kind of pull the kings out. But yeah, no, I only really do the bottom deal, like, you know, if we deal bottoms, I can do bottom deal I use all the time in performance, second deal I use all the time. But pseudo, I would just do pseudo, like do pseudo center deal with either a second deal or a bottom deal. I think it's much more reasonable. Can you do another video about the PK touch by Pete Turner? The last one you did was amazing. So I think you mean like perform it again? Yeah, I mean, it's I didn't actually get to do it in any of the street magic that I did recently, but it is always something that I try to perform from time to time. Is the straddle pass too angle sensitive? No, it's really good on angle. So let me show you like the 180. So if we're from the side, the complete side, you kind of like from this side you'll see this, But if you guys do it at enough sort of speed, like you can see there, it's pretty much, there's not much that gets seen. And you have to think in the context of a routine, like, you know, it's not really going to be seen. And then from this side, like this top hand pretty much covers everything, right? So it's invisible from that side. So it's really good from over here. And then this side's not quite as good, but you know, I do it all the time, and you know, it never ever gets seen. It's hard to explain. When I see people doing the top shot, they flick the card to their other hand, catching it. Looks very smooth, but it's the exact same effect. Can be done by just throwing the card to your other hand. I mean, the only kind of shot I do is this one. So where you pull and you flick it up like this, right? That's the one I do. Top shot is just a visual trick you can do for the camera. It doesn't have much use. Yeah, exactly. It's same as this. It's like, do I ever do that in performance? No. If I wanted to spice up an effect, might I do it? Yeah, maybe. Doing top shot accurately is more visual. Okay. I like doing Victoria. Oh, I love the Victoria control. Yeah, I'm planning to teach that on the channel soon. So that's the Victoria control right there. It's just like a cascade control. So the card goes into the middle, and you do a cascade, and it ends up on the top. So I'm a big fan of the Victoria. Okay, I want to talk to you guys about an ACAAN. So I don't know if any of you have seen my video from today, but I talked about an ACAAN in there that I actually think is really good, and just like as like a practical ACAAN. We've been talking about ACAAN a lot today, but it's really awesome. So this effect can be done in a couple of different ways, and I actually really like the way the numbers select. So the way I had taught it originally is this. You have the deck shuffled by the spectator, and then what you're going to do is that you give them the deck, and they can start dealing, and you turn around and you have them start dealing and counting the cards they're dealing, and they can stop whenever they're happy, and they just remember the number that they stopped at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we'll leave that on top. So let's say that's what they choose. You'd have them square up the deck. Now they do all that with your back turn. So they're now thinking of a number, and now you can have them name any card. So let's say I'll try to have maybe Siri name a card. So hey Siri, name a playing card. Nope, okay, didn't work. Hey Siri, name a card from a deck of cards.
Let me shuffle first. It's the 10 of clubs.
10 of clubs. Okay, so obviously they could have chosen literally like any one of these, right? It really doesn't matter. And then they just have a number in mind, right? They've never said the number out loud, all that stuff. And they can then take the deck, and they deal 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10th card is the 10 of clubs. So that was kind of the idea. Now, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can apply this, but I think the concept's really unique. Yeah, sorry, Siri is just super stupid, so you know, it takes a couple of tries sometimes. Anyway, but yeah, it's pretty neat. So what you do is they shuffle the cards, and then when you get the deck back, yes, yeah, Siri, she doesn't need the shuffle. That's kind of funny. So when you get the deck back, you can just bubble peek. So you just kind of bubble peek that top card. So I've taught the bubble peek, but essentially you just anchor the fingers on the side and use the thumb to push over that top card. And if you look down, you can see the pip right there. You can see that that's the 2 of diamonds. Okay, so they shuffle. You take the cards back and you bubble peek. So I see Jack of clubs. And now, you know, maybe the reason you would take it back is to show them what you want them to do. So you say, okay, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go in the other room. And I want you to start dealing cards. And for each card you deal, you count. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And then just make sure you put that card back on top, or bubble peek this card once you've done the demonstration. Either one is fine. So let's say we do that. So Jack of spades is on top. So I bubble peek that. Now they know what to do. I hand them the deck. I can leave the room. And let's say I tell them just start dealing and count. So they're counting in their head. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that was 10. Let me just make sure. 10. And then you say take those cards and throw them back on top. So now once they've done that, it's neat because you don't know the number, but you now have a key card indicating the position. And I think that's super unique because to them it's going to still feel like a thought of card and a very fair thought of card. If you think about that, you're turned around, they're just dealing through the deck, they stop whenever they want, whatever number they stop on, they throw on everything, they square it up, and now we're good to go. Now in terms of the card, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. The more difficult way would be doing my auto index. So I've taught that on the channel. It's basically a way to get a named card in control instantly in the deck. So that's what I did in kind of the first performance. So you'd kind of start like this and you'd say name any card. Now if they say 9 of diamonds, you say okay, perfect. And you can just show them that they could have stopped anywhere, and you have control of the 9 of diamonds to be able to be moved wherever you need it. So that's one option. You can use the auto index, which is a cull mixed with the auto index principle, which will allow you to instantly get access to that card. And what you're going to do now is, let's say you have their card in cull. So they say 3 of clubs, you spread through, and now we know our key card's the jack of spades, and so the jack of spades is currently their card, so I just have to slide the culled card underneath the jack. And then it'll be right in the position, and I don't even have to know the number they're thinking of. So at speed, it can look really good, right? If I use the auto index principle, they can literally name any card. Let's say they say Queen of Clubs. Okay, so I go like this, and I say, look, you could have literally had any one of these cards, any one at all, right? And I can close up the deck, and now they can deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, get the Queen of Clubs. Now, a bit easier way that I wanted to talk about in this video, or in this live, I should say, would be to have the card selected first, right? So you'd have a card selected, so 5 of hearts. You can have it returned. What I would do is peek it probably. So let's say I do the everybody's peek, which I've taught on the channel. So I say stop, they say stop here, 5 of diamonds. So I would have got my peek, and then they can shuffle that right away. Now what you could do is say, look, now all these cards are different. You've selected one of these, and what you would do is just make sure that their card is in the bottom half of the deck, right? So right now I see it's here, so I'm gonna cut it so it's closer to the bottom. So I'll just cut the cards casually. Now it's closer to the bottom, and that's gonna make sure that their card doesn't end up before the key card. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna hand them the deck, and you say, okay, start dealing, and count each card you deal, and when you get to a number you're happy with, just say stop. So they'll keep going, and let's say they deal to here. I actually don't know what the number is. Let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they're thinking of 14, and they square up the deck. Now you turn around, you say, look, you shuffled all of these cards, right? They're completely mixed, and in that you just would call their card, and you say, look, and you shuffled, right? You did literally everything. And now I'm just looking for my key card, right, which I don't remember what the key card was. So let's say it was this 10 of spades, and I'm going to slide the card in there and close up everything. And that happens instantly, right? You go through, I see the 3 of hearts, let's say, I go through, spot my key card, and just slide it in and close up everything. Now the card is at the position. If you wanted, you could add in a false shuffle like that, which doesn't change the order of any of the cards, and now they can deal through and have a fun little ACAAN with their thought of number, right? They don't even have to say the number. You can do lots of things with this, right? You can have just have them. You can say deal to your number. Don't say it out loud, and just stop when your number is this card here. They'll stop, and you say for the first time, what's the card you're thinking of? Turn it over. You could use this in sort of a pre-show, where you can imagine a situation where you do this, and you have a person thinking of the number. You have your key card, 7 of clubs, so you know the number. Now you have someone else in performance, you have someone else name a card. When they name that card, you can control that to the position. So if it's the 7 of clubs, I'm going to control it, the 4 of spades to the position. So now it's in the position. And what I can do is, if I've done the whole dealing process pre-show, I now know what number or what position this person has in mind, but I don't know the number. So I can say, now I want you to think of a number, right? It can be any number. You've never said this number out loud, correct? Which is true because they never said it out loud. And now you can hand them the deck and just say, I want you to deal to that number, and you'll find the card. Or you can not even bring up the number, and in the pre-show scripting you would say, okay, you're thinking of that number, and you say, if I ever ask you to just deal until it feels right, you can just deal down to that number, right? That's the number you chose. That's what feels right. So if I ever tell you at some point tonight to deal to when it feels right, do that. So now you hand them the deck and say, just start dealing, and I want you to stop when it feels right. Now they're going to deal to the number, but to everyone else, they're just stopping at some random point. And I don't know what the number was, but if you do it properly with the actual number, they'll stop right here, and it'll be your 4 of spades. Right, so lots of ideas, lots of options with this ACAAN. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. I'm going to wrap this up soon. Maybe we can do one quick tutorial from my little giant encyclopedia of card magic tricks. This was the first magic book I ever got. It's a pretty good book. A lot of cool stuff in there. So why doesn't someone give me a number? We'll end this live on a tutorial. Give me a number between 41 and 250. So a number between 41 and 250. And we will talk about that trick and see if it's anything good. And we'll wrap up the live. So if you guys have any last questions, I hope you enjoyed the live. This was a fun live. They're always fun. So let me know. Let's see, what fun moves do I know? Let's see, panoramic shift. Always liked that one. There we go, 8 of hearts. 71, okay, 71's the number. Push that in, wave my hand over the deck like this. Panoramic shift. What else can I? Oh, I haven't done this in a long time. Let's see if I can still do it. 7 of hearts. Oh, the angles are, we're on the wrong angle for this. Oh, I think I got it second from top. Yep, there we go, 7. That's a fun control to do. That one's actually really fun. 2 of diamonds. Push it into the middle. And it's on top. Anyway, 71. Let's see what we got, if there's anything good. We have the 9th card trick. Oh no, that's 77. Sorry, I'm blind. 71. Oh, this boy seems long. Okay. Oh, it's one of these. It's the 3-column trick. Let's go over it. I haven't done this in a long time. This is one of the first tricks I learned, but it's a pretty cool one. Like, I mean, it's fun. It's kind of a beginner trick. Spectator chooses a card and returns it to the pile. Columns of 7, 3 separate... performer spreads the cards face up in 3 columns of 7, 3 separate times. Each time the performer asks the spectator which row contains the selected card, the performer is then able to pick out the card, which is always in the middle of the final arrangement. So practice laying out cards in 3 columns. In 3 columns 3 times in a row, so consistently find the chosen one as the center one. Okay. Count out 21 cards from a pack. Shuffle this using an overhand shuffle. Okay, step 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Alright, so we give these a shuffle. Next step. Ask the spectator to first choose a card from the pile, then put the card back and shuffle. Oh yeah, this trick was actually nice because they could like really fairly choose a card. So you could literally do think of a card. So let's say we do think of a card. So it's King of Diamonds. And then they can shuffle that as much as they want, right? Take the pile, open the cards face up in 3 columns of 7, proceeding from top to bottom, from left to right. Okay, I see. So it'd be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the King of Diamonds was our selected card. I don't know if I said that. That was the one I was thinking of at least. Then, ask the spectator which column contains the selected cards. Now pick up the cards in each column from top to bottom. Starting with the first column and continuing with the column contains the chosen card. For example, the 3rd column, then pick up For example, the third column. Okay, so then it'd be pick up that second. Okay, so start with this, then the chosen card, and then this. So you want the chosen card in the middle. And then arrange the cards again in 3 columns, but this time lay them out in rows. Place the first card in the first column, the second card in the second column, and the third card in the third column. Okay, so pretty simple. I'm assuming we do it from this position though. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I haven't done this trick in a long time, but it's not a bad one. Do like that, and then ask them which column contains their card. Pick up the column, select the card in the middle. So same order this time, like that, and then so it should be the 11th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11, the King of Diamonds. There you go. We have the King of Diamonds at 11. So it's the thought of card. Let's see what else it says. Oh, it just kind of explains how it works. Yeah, okay. That is like a neat little one. I think this is something that you would probably, want to do. Yeah, honestly, if it didn't work out, I would be pretty sad. It did work out, though. That was cool. But this is something I would do probably with less cards. Like you could work it out with like 5 cards or something, like 5 in each row, so like 15. But I could see like a world where even if you came up with like a more unique way to do this, right? Because this is just a 21 card trick, right? But if you thought of like a different way where maybe you showed them a fan of cards randomly from the middle, right? Something like that. And then that is self-working. There you go. There's my favorite self-working trick. We were talking about it earlier. I said I didn't know one. But what you could do like with something like that, right? You show them, you'd say think of one, and then you could have them shuffle. And if you maybe had a way to let them shuffle, no, I think that's simple enough. So they shuffle, right? Or if you could think of a way where, you could pretend to put these cards back, but and give a shuffle, but maintaining that stock. So if I kept that on the bottom, those 21 cards they looked from, then I could just say here, we'll cut the cards, and hopefully your card's like somewhere in here or something like that. So now it seems more like they've thought of a card from the whole deck. Then instead of laying it out in rows, if there's a way where you could say, go like this and say, look here, look for your card here. I'm going to go show you 1, 2, and 3, and maybe we drop them into piles instead, like that. And now you say, did you see it in 1, 2, or 3? And they can tell you, and now you can assemble it. You see what I mean? Just kind of make it feel a bit more organic, and then do the same thing. You'd have to work out the exact order, but say like we'll show you 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and then you can determine a thought of card and kind of use it in that way, which might be pretty cool, might be super unique. So something to come up with and kind of spin that on its head. All right. So guys, I'm going to wrap up the live here. If you have any other questions you'd like me to go over. I think that last trick's a good example of like a classic, like a really old, premise, an old trick, but something that you can take and kind of give you sort of my thought process between certain tricks, how I would think about changing things, making them better. It's always, for me, about making things more natural, making things feel more organic and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys have any last questions, I'll give you another minute or so to get them in, but I'm going to wrap this one up. Another great live. We are at 1:45 almost. Hope you guys got some value out of this. I'll be back in another couple of weeks for the August live. This one is technically going to be our July live, even though it happened in August. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I think we'll wrap it up there. So as always, guys, thank you so much for joining. A new video was out today, so go check that out if you haven't already. Some awesome controls that you guys can learn. and I hope you guys, found this valuable and all that. If you would like to check out some private lessons, you can at the link below, or my Mentalism membership. Sorry, I was reading the chat, I got distracted. Or if you'd like to look at my Mentalism membership, linked down in the description. But with all that said, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys. All the best. Hope you enjoyed the live. Bye.